this song. Hey everybody. I love this song. There's a church in Carrollton in Texas, if you are in that area. It's called Bent Tree Bible, and they released a collection of songs. And this song called Song of the Free, man, I'm telling you, it just reminds me like my whole life is a song. So I just want to share it with you guys. I hope you can go on Spotify or iTunes. It's called The New Collective. It's great worship music. It's great freedom music, which is a theme of my life. All right, guys, let me tell you a little story about the Thompsons and a story of freedom. So I think it was probably 4 years ago, I'm thinking. 4 years ago, Christmas. So my Selah would have been 2. Gosh, I wish I could remember. Like a year and a half, or 2.5. Now maybe it's 5 years. I guess it doesn't really matter. It all feels like it just goes together. And so I had 5 children, 2 of which who had medical stuff. Sometimes they had their stuff going on all at one time. That was super fun. And I had a hair business, a full-time, doing hair, constantly out of my house. I was homeschooling those people. And Christmas comes. And in my grown-up life, I learned when you're married, happy families send out Christmas cards. Happy families host Christmas get-togethers. Happy families write fill in the blank. This is what you do, especially if you're a Christian, right? Those of you guys who know our Jesus, sometimes these fools put pressure on us. So here comes December. I have no idea what the heck date. And I'm like this to my people. Look, all of you guys just tidy up, sit down. I'm going to take your picture because I got to get this picture out and send it to people I don't even talk to once a year. Some of these people I like. So if you got that Christmas card, you're like, wait, you didn't like me? No, I probably liked you. If I don't like you, then we're not friends on Facebook. So there's that. And so I'm like, sit down. Okay, smile. No, don't smile. Just, oh, Lord. Just, okay, here, click. Okay, there we go. Number 1, we didn't have the money to be sending out Christmas cards. We were broke as a joke. And to send out like 50 or 100 Christmas cards, you guys can do the math. Postage, that freaking is expensive. But I'm doing it anyway because I thought this is what is expected of me. So I thought, okay, well, a cheap way, affordable way is to just throw it up on Walgreens. That seems reasonable. And it's probably got to be like December 15th or something ridiculous like that. And so I ordered them on Walgreens, like late at night. Whew, done. Great. They come in the mail, and Eden is sitting here on the couch with me. So cute how she is. She's like 7 or 8. And I'm opening them, I'm looking, I'm like, oh, these are hideous. Like, I'm just thinking, these are awful. Selah looks like a freaking Muppet because she's got a unibrow, and her head looks like a box. Like, my child does not have a box head. The only one who looks normal is Eden. Cannon's making like his Zoolander face, is like that face. What the hell is that? Jonah looks like he's just like someone's about to shoot him. And Zion is it's horrible. It's a terrible picture. But it gets better. My Eden goes, hey, Ma, who are the Thompsons? What? And I look, I had ordered I think I had ordered like 60 of these. Merry Christmas, love the Thompsons. And like 4 names. There's 7 of us. Forget about naming the parents. Like, one of my children wasn't named. It's embarrassing. I started laughing so hard. I mean, I think I probably was just crying, laughing so hard, just going. Sometimes I think God allows these things to happen to just be like, hey, are you ready to stop being in your nonsense? You ready to let like real life happen and let me do the things? And I think she was like, so Mom, what are you going to do? We were kind of talking about it. I'm like, screw it. Let's send him out. Let's just send him out. I don't care. And my husband at the time wrote a letter. And so he's super funny. Like my husband in person, not the funniest guy you've ever met. But on paper, oh my gosh, in stitches, you're crying, you're laughing so hard. He is hilarious on paper. And so he wrote the letter. You know, Merry Christmas from the Thompsons. You may have noticed that we've changed our names to protect the innocent. And just like kind of went with it. And away we went. And ever since then, I do not do Christmas cards. Now, you might go, oh, Jen, where you're traumatized. You just need stress away, trauma life. No. I'm good. I'm totally solid. All good in the hood. I don't need that. What God showed me at that moment, and that's why I want to do this live for you guys. I love telling the story. It's super fun to tell the story because it is such a reminder. Every year it pops up on my newsfeed, and it reminds me of how God started setting me free. That was like that pinnacle point where I just had to get out of myself and go, enough. My mother-in-law, my father-in-law had passed away at that point, which you might go, oh, I mean, and yeah, but they're with Jesus. Like they're so much happier, believe me. But they created a lot of obligations in my husband's family. My own family has their own nonsense obligations. There's a reason why we do our Christmas here in Boston, right? So there's these Christmas obligations that I was kind of bound up to. Maybe you're like me. And maybe it's December 18th and you're thinking, okay, already I've eaten way too much. I've spent way too much. I've still got a laundry list of crap to do, right? And maybe you don't even have your cards written out. Maybe you're like, I can't even afford to send them out. I don't know. And so you don't, and now you feel guilty because the cards start rolling in, right? And you're like, yeah, I didn't send you one. Yeah, I didn't send one. Or if you're like me, and this always happened, always, I would have my list, and inevitably I'd get those one or two cards from people. I'm like, oh my God, I totally forgot you. Sorry, person that I don't ever even talk to. But you sent me a card. You thought of me. Now I'm this total ass who didn't think of you. Crap. Enter the guilt. Here's what guilt does. According to Psychology Today, guilt can make it difficult to think straight in situations. It can make us reluctant to enjoy life with our I shoulds, I shouldn't, I probably need to, right? It creates the Dobby effect. Did you guys ever see Harry Potter? So Dobby was this weird little creature that he would do this self-loathing and self-punishment when he did something wrong. And so he'd bang his head on the table and he'd just like, Dobby bad, and he would say these really bad things about himself. So maybe you, because you feel guilty, you do this self-punishment thing. It can make us resentful. Last I checked, that is like the antithesis of Jesus even coming to this earth. And so if you don't know Jesus, like I do, and you're going, what? But Christmas is about da. We watched my favorite movie over the weekend, The Griswolds. And he says in there, Christmas is about family. It's about getting together. It's about working through your problems. No, it's not. If you know Jesus, it's about the Savior coming to earth as a baby, redeeming mankind, setting people free. That's what it's all about, Charlie Brown. So if you know Jesus, and yet you're like heaped with a laundry list of crap, the reason why you're feeling constantly like poop all the time is because that's not the point. Guilt can often be created to, hear me, hold on, let me pause. Please know, what I'm about to say is I'm not saying it lightly. But I think some of you need to hear me, and I'm praying that you receive what I'm about to say. To some of you, it won't make any sense, but to many of you, it's about to set you free. Some of you have PTSD. You don't even know how you have PTSD. You've been abused. You've been physically, mentally, sexually, which is the same as physically, only on a different level, abused. You've been put upon. You've been taken advantage of, which is a form of abuse, and on it goes. We could sit here all day and talk about the types of PTSD. More on that later. And a lot of times, the very people that caused the PTSD are now heaping the guilt on you and causing you to feel like shit because you're not doing the things. And the reality is, it's this vicious cycle. You're already mad about the things that they did to you. And now you feel obligated to them. It's messed up, friend. It is messed up. One of you guys just have, now I got 2,000 of you on here who watch these things. Maybe there's 1,999 of you who are like, what is she talking about? But you, the one I'm talking to, the abuser, the take advantage of her, that person is the one who's heaping all this nonsense on you. And it's created a vicious cycle. In a weird way, we now feel obligated to that person. But here's the deal, guys. This is not why Jesus came as a baby. It's not. Christmas cards might seem super harmless. It's such a funny story. It is. It's funny, but it is the pivotal point where God just went with my life and said, now then, enough listening to the noisemakers and the people who have not your best interest at heart. Stop. And from then on, guys, from that Christmas on, God has taken me on a journey of freedom and just letting it go. Letting it go. This Christmas card is a teeny tiny example of how obligations create so much guilt, so much stress, and so many triggers, going back to the PTSD. And it causes people to loathe themselves and this entire season. Last I checked, there were only 4 seasons that God set up: spring, summer, fall, and winter. Christmas time, it is my favorite time, like the time that we celebrate. I don't like all the trappings. I don't like all the have-tos and all the obligatory things because they cause guilt, stress, and triggers. Do you remember I just mentioned the PTSD, the triggers? Can I tell you, in the last 18 days, the last actually month, but for sure 18 days, I've talked to person after person after person that will say, this is a really hard time of year. It just is, for various reasons, right? It shouldn't be that way. The reason why in our family we say it is the most wonderful time of year is because Jesus was born, not in December. P.S. You can do the math. It's like, what, February or March or something. But it is the time that we choose as believers to say, hey, let's honor the day that we would just all come together and celebrate. Yay. God is all about celebrations. He's all about gifts. He's all about lots of food. But he's not all about obligation. He had a come to Jesus meeting, as if you were, with Martha about this very thing. She's up there whining that her sister's not doing the things, like all the obligations that had to be done. There's stuff to be done. He's like, dude, stop, man. Mary's already chosen the right thing. Come on. Like, he wasn't mad. He's just like, come on. Sit down. Sit down. So I would ask you, guys, what's your Merry Christmas from the Thompsons? What's going on? What are you doing that you're like, I guess I just have to do this thing? No, you don't. Is it what you want to do? Do you want to bake 1,000 cookies? Why, so you can contribute to 1 in 3 people having diabetes in our country? Is that what you really want? If it is, hey, good on you. But if it's not, what do you really want this season? And then, how are you going to get that? Do you really want to walk in obligation and bondage, or do you want to walk in freedom? Listen to me. It's not what they want, what she wants, what he wants. It's all about what you want. And most of all, like when we really, at the end of the day, sit there and think about it, what does God want from us? What is he asking from us? If I had to hazard a guess, at least to be so bold in my own family, God used that time with Merry Christmas from the Thompsons to say, I don't want you wasting your pennies on this nonsense. Because here's what happens. You get a card and you're like, oh, look, yeah, they've gotten so big. It's true. Now, I know some of you are super spiritual and you keep the cards and you pray for the people all year. Great. The rest of us do not do that. I guarantee. The rest of us are like this. Oh, stink. They sent me a card. Oh, they're so cute. Oh, look how thin she looks. I look like crap. And you look in the mirror. Oh, yeah. Oh, I put on weight. Yeah, she hasn't. Figures. Or you see the card. Oh, look at them in Cabo again. Oh, look at me in my backyard again. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, whatever. So those are just things to think about. What's your Thompsons? What do you really want? Do that thing, guys. And my favorite question to ask in my coaching sessions when I coach people is, what's worst case scenario? What is the worst thing that can happen? You don't send out a card. You don't have a party. You don't bake cookies. You don't buy any gifts for anybody. Whoa. Wow, I know, that's earth-shattering, right? What's the worst thing that can happen? Nobody dies on the table, do they? Nope. Turns out, Jesus still came. He still grew up. He still died. He rose again. He came to set us free. I suggest you act like it. Merry Christmas, everybody.